Okay, welcome to the 16th green here at Glenwild Golf Club and Spa in Park City, Utah. You can see down here, bottom corner, we're at 6611 feet in elevation. And we're going to be looking at scoring strategies. And this hole being over 600 yards long from the tips, it doesn't matter how many strokes it takes you to get here. Everybody has to get here at some point. And so we're looking at our strategy from the green complex, working backwards. As we look at this green complex, we can see that the bunkering is in the front right section of the green. I also know, using Google Earth, that from the cart path at 6618 to the top side of the green at 6615, we have a 3-foot drop in elevation there. And as we come over to the left side of the green, it went to 6610, and then down here 66.9, 66.8, right? So this is a low spot at 66.08. So we have a significant slope moving from right to left, and I was able to use Google Earth to give me some of that information. I also know by playing the hole that this is a chip shot that comes from above the green down, and then from the left-hand side of the green, you're chipping back up to the hole. A little bit of a false front here, which will cause the ball to roll off the front. And then any shot that comes up short of the green here, you're going to be pitching from a low spot up onto the green. So let's take a look at our Strakaline green reading book and see how this can help us to understand what would be a good strategy on hole 16. First thing what we're going to do is drop in some hole locations. So we have a hole location here typically, the front right section. Got a big blue section here, so we're going to put one kind of right there. We have hole locations, a couple of them typically in the back section over here. And then we have one here, it's kind of a sneaky one in that blue section, just on the very, very close left side of the green as well. We've gone ahead and cut our green in half left to right, and also in half front to back, so that we can identify quadrants and to kind of talk through strategy in a very simple way from high level big picture stuff. So let's drop into here into the front right section of the green, because in the front right section of the green we have these bunkers, right? And typically we want to stay away from those. It doesn't really matter how good of a bunker player you are. You don't really want to hit into bunkers if you can avoid them. The architect has put them there to create a greater challenge, and we don't really want to play into that game. So we're going to stay away from the front right section of the green if we can. Let's go ahead and move our quadrant. This is our 20 by 20 yard margin for error, and we're going to move it into the back right section of the green so we can see what would happen if we hit the ball somewhere up here in the back right section. Well, if we hit it here onto this ridge of pink and arrows, that ball will typically land in this area, maybe roll up and then trickle back down. So you can actually utilize this hill as a strategy for playing to a back left hole location. So if you're a skilled player and you want to use this bank to get your ball into a nice position back here in the back left, then go for it. That would be a good thing to be able to do. However, if you miss the green and now you're off the back of the green over here, now you have a very difficult chip shot coming back down the hill. The good news is that the golf ball is always going to roll once it hits this slope. So if the hole is located anywhere over here, may not be too challenging, just depends on how skilled you are as a player. If you hit the ball too hard going in this direction, you'll find your ball rolling all the way off the green and probably down into a collection area if you're not that if you don't have as good a touch as you're hoping for. Let's move this quadrant here into the back left. So this does have a couple of hole locations typically. Several of them can be placed in this back left section. And I know if I miss the green over here, I'm in a lower spot chipping onto the green. So this would be, although short-sighted, wouldn't be too challenging of a chip shot because I'm chipping uphill onto a green that's also coming toward me, so that chip shot should stop pretty quickly. Also, again, here to this whole location, not too challenging of a chip shot. And I would say for the most part, any shot that you hit from the left side of the green is going to probably produce a better outcome than any shot that you hit over here on the right side of the green. I think a more simple shot, pitching up onto the green, and then also you have a little bit more of a backstop here. If you accidentally hit it a little bit too hard, that ball will go up and then it'll tend to come back down off that slope. So it can be tricky. So even though a left side of the green chip shot is easier, it is going to require some practice. The front left quadrant, same story. However, it also includes this false front, which can be an automatic golf ball return zone for you. So I would say, as you're playing this hole, logically it would appear that you would play into the middle of the green or even the right side, and just like a putt to any one of these hole locations, you would play a little bit of break. Okay, as we've learned in some of my previous videos, just because logically there is some break to be played, it doesn't mean that that's strategically the best approach, right? It's all about the leave. So if you play into this green straight on, and that ball does go over here to the left, maybe it hits the green and falls off and goes over here, no problem, because what we're identifying is that over here on this side of the green, this is where your good leave would be, okay? Now, the more skilled player can definitely play that shot and control the amount of right to left break and roll and spin, etc., and play to any one of these holes, favoring slightly to the right and playing a little bit of that break. If you're not as skilled and you play straight for the middle of the green, who knows, you might hit a great shot and it comes up perfectly just right here in the back left side, or maybe right here if you play straight on. But don't be discouraged if you hit the green and it rolls off on this side, because this is actually the best leave. Okay, now what it will require is for you to go and spend some time chipping and working on that shot, and you can practice that in the short game area, or you can just take some extra shots out here on the golf course and just see what it feels like to pitch that ball up from the left side of the green. So I'm going to say in this case we have a couple of options. We can play to the back left side of the green or to the front left side of the green, which will give us our best angle for approach. So if we go back over here to our Google Earth image, we can drop in our safe zone markers. So we're going to say that in general, anywhere on this left-hand side is good. I'm going to say that we should have a safe zone for a front hole location, and that's going to be right here on the front left side of the green. And then we're also going to have one for the back. So here's our safe zone for the front. And then let's drop in another marker in the back, kind of back left. And like I was saying, that I think the safe zone can change. I think that obviously in any of my videos we've talked about how the skill level of the player can determine where that safe zone is. So anyway, this is hole 16. Hope this helps you, and I will see you in the next video.